And welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. Well, it's just right around the corner. The mayoral race is next Tuesday, actually. So it's your chance to choose a mayor to run the city of Montgomery for who knows how long. And very important, we have to realize in the city of Montgomery, the mayor's job is not a ceremonial job.
Right.
It's not just go kiss babies and cut ribbons. It's a managerial job. And today we have a candidate, J.C. Love. Big smile.
Yes.
All the time. And we're glad to have you here. And
Glad to be
J.C.,
here.
you know, when we talk to other candidates and when you guys are on the forum, they keep saying, well, what are the different problems? The question I'd say is let's erase money. Let's just say money is not a factor at all.
Yes.
If the city had all the money to what it needed to do, what would be the first thing that we need to do to make this city a better place for all of our citizens?
Well, I think we first have to address education. When we talk about all the other issues regarding crime and economic development and the economy, it's all an offshoot of education.
Right.
And so if we could just go ahead and begin to reinstill confidence in public education in our system, that will do a long way to trying to get buy-in from the public, to being able to make the decisions that will help better support public education, but also allay concerns that now our military, that the Air Force over in Maxwell is really having regarding public education here in Montgomery.
So obviously the question becomes this. The county, it's the County Board of Education.
Yes.
And the city puts some money into it. It's kind of a disconnect because you are going to inherit the ramifications of a poor education system, but you don't really run it. Could we do something to make that happen?
Well, yeah, you're correct. The mayor doesn't run public education,
Right.
but being that
the
the
city
district mayor
council
has the biggest mouthpiece really in the region,
Right.
then we're the biggest advocate for public education. And because the city and the
viewers
county
need to know that. See.
have dollars on the table with the schools that we've built, the new LAMP, the new MTech, the Carver High School, even the elementary schools, Blunt and Wilson and Johnny Carr, that we have a seat at the table to really go ahead and direct education, because what does or doesn't happen with public education affects the city of Montgomery.
I agree thoroughly with you that everything is an offshoot of education.
It is.
It truly is. It affects every single area, not just crime and not just any particular section of our city. This city belongs to all of us, and we all, like you, should care about all of it.
Oh yes, and we have to, because you can't really be concerned about crime and not really focus on education, or worry about property values and not really look at education, when you're seeing so many people are now beginning to leave Montgomery and go to Pike Road or Prattville and Wetumpka because the issue of public education here in the city. And even the viability of our city, when you're seeing that General Cotton over the Air Force is really saying that 60% of their servicemen aren't bringing their families because of concerns regarding public education. And just looking down the future, that we're not going to have, I think Senator Shelby said he may not run in 22.
Right.
And not having the chair of appropriations that has really been helpful back in 2014 when there was talk about moving our C-130s,
Yes.
and he was the one that really backed the Air Force off. And so knowing that we'll have 2 junior senators from Alabama who won't be chairing any major committees and probably won't be any major committees. So we really leave ourselves susceptible to losing what we have at Maxwell if we don't begin to improve what we're doing from a public education standpoint here in the
Where
city.
would you begin?
Well, I think first we have to have a real talk with our Board of Education and really sit down and let them know that I'm coming to this office without any preconceptions, but really willing to roll up my sleeves and do the hard work about trying to put together a plan that's going to reinstill confidence, and that we're going to ensure that we're providing our kids with a good quality education. So I'm a product of the Montgomery public school system, my wife and I.
Yeah,
You
me
look
too.
at this race, and we've got at least 4 candidates that all graduated from Jeff Davis. So we know what Montgomery public schools used to produce. And so we have a system, when you talk about public education, it's, people believe that, all right, you're in the magnet school. If you're not in the magnet program, then you feel that you're just kind of, being failed as regards to the system. So really trying to make it a way when I was in school, that if you're in the public school, regular public school system, you still got a good education. If you wanted a more advanced curriculum, then you went to the magnets, but not to the fact that you're not getting an education here in Montgomery unless you're going to the in public school, unless you're going to one of the magnet schools. But I think, really trying to put together the plans, we can go ahead and get the resources that I believe that our schools need to be successful, to more engage in more technology in the curriculum, because that's the wave of the future, is technology.
Amen. You're exactly right.
And our kids are having to compete not just locally and statewide, but now on a global level,
Right.
Yes.
because of the interconnectivity of the world and how things have progressed. And then also try to go ahead and work to recruit better teachers in the system, and then deal with the huge infrastructure backlog. But we're not going to get to those steps unless we have a plan that we can go ahead and try to get buy-in from people that live in the community, from the business community, as well as our partners over at Maxwell about improving education.
Well, thank God our partners at Maxwell are stepping in
Oh, yes.
and working toward improving, which I think is great, because like Jack and I always
Right.
said, the power's in the partnerships.
Yes.
So if we can really, I think that I like what you're saying. I think you have to be willing to stand up and speak out for what you believe in and be forceful. You can't just sit back.
Right.
Well, the cost of not doing anything is too great.
Amen.
Amen.
And we have our kids here in the system, 28,000 kids in our system, are really depending on us to get it right.
That's right.
We're talking about
They
our
deserve
workforce.
it.
They deserve it.
They deserve it.
And it'd be something that, that every child that's born here should be entitled to a good public education.
Amen.
JC, you're a practicing attorney,
Yes.
and of course, obviously, you know the legal end of the thing, so you're going to be getting into some heavy-duty management. Hopefully you're ready for that if you get into the mayor's seat, because you're managing it's a major corporation.
Oh, yes.
When you look at the amount of people in there.
Well, we got 2,400 city employees.
Right.
And so they're looking to the mayor to really set
guide 'em.
direction, goal, and vision, and
Absolutely.
really direct priorities of saying what's important here in the city.
Good. How can our viewers get more information on you? Is there a website, or give
Yeah.
us that information
They can
as
go
we
to-
close?
All right, you can go to my website, www.loveformontgomery.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Love for Montgomery. And I just
Okay.
hope your viewers realize on August 27th that while we may not agree on everything Montgomery needs, we can all agree that one thing Montgomery needs more of is love.
Absolutely. Oh, okay. Listen, I know your wife wrote that one for you. That doesn't seem like come out of a lawyer or a dermatologist. Maybe your sister. I think your sister
Your
wrote
wife's
that one.
wonderful.
That's right.
His wife is,
As she
yeah,
is.
she is.
We is. And thank you so much, and thank you for taking the step to at least try to help our city.
Well, thank you for having me on and giving me the opportunity
Good.
to talk to the viewers.
And just remember, it's right around the corner. Do your homework. Call the candidates. They need to talk to you. If you call a candidate and you can't talk to them, it's probably not the one you want to have working for you, because if they're not going to hear you now, they're sure not going to hear you after they get into office. And we'll be right back right after this.